What's up everybody, D-Man back, welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla vs. Kong news roundup. In this video we're going to be tackling a couple months at a time. That's right, in this one we are going to be covering everything from September and October of 2021. I told you, once the ball started to roll we'd pick up momentum and soon enough we'd be all caught up. I just wanted to say at the top of this video, I really appreciate all of the goodwill that we have built over the past couple videos. This past week on the channel has been a very great one. The first good week I've had on the channel in years. And I'm talking strictly from an analytics standpoint, not from an enjoyment standpoint. And I just wanted to thank you all for that. That being said, I'm about to destroy that goodwill. You guys have made it very clear to me that the types of videos you're interested in are behind the scenes information and specifically information teasing the next MonsterVerse films. No, we're not doing that in this video. I'm sorry, September and October was a really slow news period for 2021. Pretty much from August on, nothing happened. It's a good thing we weren't covering news while it was happening, because otherwise this would be a very boring stretch. I mean, as you'll see, half of the news in this video is King of the Monsters news, and there's not even really a good theme for this video. Starting out with Zillafoot. Yes, everybody's favorite Zillafoot. Now this got releases on DVD at Walmart and other stores like that. I never saw it. I love this poster. This is the most Godzilla vs. Kong poster that you could have possibly made without just being the Godzilla vs. Kong poster. Like, they are so blatant with it. Fortunately for me, in the last video I mentioned Zillafoot, and nobody really commented saying that it's worth checking out or worth reviewing even for the lulz, so I have no need to go check it out. I'm in the clear on this one. Destiny 2 hosted a Festival of the Lost Halloween event in which they had a whole bunch of skin packs you could download and like put on your characters, and they had a lot of Godzilla inspired skins. First of all, it's clear that the masks are very Mechagodzilla inspired. Definitely the one on the right looks a lot like 2021's Mechagodzilla, which is nice and cool to see, but then you look at their glider and it's just straight up Mothra. They just straight up took Mothra's patterning and put it on a glider. That's a lot of fun. And then their unreleased skins that they were going to do have one that's just straight up Godzilla armor on the left here, which is another fun little detail. I love it when games do stuff like this. I love Easter eggs like this. I love that. It's really fun as a Godzilla fan, and it's fun as a gamer. I've never played Destiny 2, but I think that's pretty sick. I hope a lot of Godzilla fans got some good skins that day. The Jumbo Titan Legendary Godzilla has been seen on display. I can't tell if this is the same sculpt that they've been using since King of the Monsters, all painted blue, or if this is a brand new one. This kind of looks like a new one to me, but either way, it's really cool. I don't know where it was on display. Gormoru Island shared this, but it's very cool nonetheless. It may be years late, but we've finally got it. Better late than never, I suppose. Some high quality Muto releases. These are from Premium Bandai. This Premium Bandai Muto set runs you $190. The female Muto standing at 5.7 inches, while the male stands at 3.39 inches. There was a little Muto description that was released with them stating, "Mutos unleashed, Godzilla revived." The Mutos have been battling Godzilla for the survival of their species for 250 million years. They survive by striking down members of Godzilla's species who reigned at the top of the food chain and lay their eggs in their carcasses, which structurally resemble nuclear reactors. The Mutos are Godzilla's natural enemies and are destined to fight Godzilla as part of their ecosystem. Sensing the hatching of these ancient foes, Godzilla appears to face them. Now these figures are absolutely incredible. The sculpt work is amazing. I love seeing all the cracks and crevices and skin texturing going on within these guys. They look really real. They genuinely look like probably the best Mutos I have ever seen. You could convince me these were the CG models in the right lighting. They look incredible. They were designed by Takuma Asi, and there's some pictures of him with his sculpt. They are articulated, but they're not articulated by much. You can articulate the legs and wings of these guys, but you can't articulate their little arms. They also come with one little accessory, which is of course the nuclear bomb that they're after. Overall, I think this is a really incredible set, and I'm very happy to see some love and attention be given to the Mutos. Now that Bandai has officially done a Muto sculpt, I hope someday they will tackle an SH Monster Arts Muto. Speaking of the Mutos, Spiral Studios announced that they would be doing the female Muto. This appears to be the female Muto from Godzilla 2014, and again, I just love the Orca backgrounds. In addition to the female Muto, they announced that they would be doing a Behemoth, a Scylla, and a Warbat. I'm really excited to see their Warbat. I actually haven't seen any of these. I know they're actually produced now, but I still haven't seen them, so I'm gonna learn with you guys. Or at least with those of you who stopped watching news videos when I stopped doing Movie News videos. I am excited to see their take on the Warbat. Spiral Studios also revealed their Mothra Larva Benevolent form, which runs you $370. This one is a great sculpt. It's got great coloring. It's a pretty good size too. Look at it in that guy's hands. It looks really good. I think they did a stellar job with the coloring. I love the way that it truly looks like she's glowing. The bioluminescence is the best part of this. And I guess I just don't totally know what the CG model for Mothra looks like, but it does look a little smoother than I would expect given the price point. In addition to that, Spiral Studios released one that I think is actually a little better, which is shocking because I'm typically a fan of the normal standard figures, but they released a Mothra Larva Defensive form, which is $399. This one's a little more expensive. It's got the same height stats, but the sculpt is different. Now she's all in her attack pose with the frayed up back, and she's got the red glowing through her. I think she looks incredible in these. This one truly looks like an insect, and again, they managed to capture the fact that she's glowing so well through nothing but paint alone. I think it really highlights how powerful this design was in Godzilla King of the Monsters and how much of an upgrade it is to the classic larval Mothra. Next up, Spiral Studios teased the Ultimate Masterline Mothra 2019 Imago form, which looks really cool. She looks super defensive, and I think she's going to be on some sort of rock pillar tower, which is going to be really cool. Again, I've never actually looked at any of these things, so I'm going to be seeing them pretty much for the first time when I talk about them. Getting into the Godzilla vs. Kong news, we're going to cover some quick figure stuff. U2's announced a Godzilla vs. Kong wave. U2's is basically like a rival to Funko Pops, although they're more for like YouTubers and streamers, and so it's pretty cool to see them jumping out of their realm to do something like Godzilla. They're a little bit more set heavy, I suppose you could say, than Funko Pops. Like, they've got full sets that go with them most of the time, or at least like props that come with them. And so of course they announced Godzilla and Kong fighting on the aircraft carrier for $39.99. Now personally, I think that's a really good price for this. That's not much more than like 2 Funkos, so that's a pretty good price for this. They're on top of the aircraft carrier. I think it looks really good. I did see some people complaining though that Kong is on the wrong side. Hey guys, just flip it. It's a 3D thing. You can turn it around. What? How could you really complain about that? I'm complaining about people complaining a full year ago, but still, I feel the need to. And then they've got a Godzilla Heat Ray version for $29.99. And I'll be honest, I don't think the sculpt or paint job is anywhere near as good as Funko Pop's. I don't think it resembles the Godzilla as much, and I think it's a lot smoother, and I don't love the way they painted the blue on the sides of his head. I get what they're trying to go for. It's very stylized, and I appreciate it, but I do think Funko did a better job realizing that. Finally, they did Kong on the Throne, which I actually think is incredible. It's one of my favorite ones of these, including all the Funkos. It looks great. The scarring on Kong's chest is really interesting the way they did that. I like it a lot. The axe looks great, and then the whole set piece with him on the throne looks incredible. I'm a big fan of that. Prime One Studios Mechagodzilla was revealed during what I believe was a giant showcase in the public. It's incredible. This is an incredible sculpt. I love the wiring running up the tail. I love the texturing and patterning of the tail. I love it. I love this thing so much. I actually like this more than I like seeing him in the movie. He looks super cool, looks like really metallic, really good. This base that he's on, that thing that he comes up out of in the movie, it's so cool. The detailing is awesome. I'm a big Prime One Studio fan, and I think they knocked it out of the freaking park with this. There's a video showing it off as well, and you get a better look at like the missile shooters on the side, and I don't know, man, I just could gush about this thing all day. They did such a good job capturing the likeness of the 2021 Mechagodzilla. They make him look powerful and intimidating while also putting him in a very interesting posture that's unlike many of the other figures we would see. I just think they killed it. This is not Godzilla vs. Kong or anything, but I'll mention it here because I'm going to forget otherwise. But they also showed off some Gypsy Danger stuff from Pacific Rim. They showed off a Gypsy Danger bust, which is insane, and then they showed off a Gypsy Danger model. The bust is so good. I love it so much. Of course, that model is great too, with him killing the kaiju down there, and he looks great, but that bust is so amazing. And I swear to God, we've seen the guy in that photo like 10 times on this channel, but I don't know why or where or when. I'm sure for something to do with Prime One Studios. Tencent Games released a big promo video celebrating all their accomplishments for the year. This is the studio that brings PUBG Mobile to Asia, and of course in this video you see Godzilla and Kong. Now the models aren't the best, but it's still fun to see. I like Kong on top of that building there. And then they show back up in the end for the final charge, much like in like, I don't know, a Ready Player One type situation. It's just something cute to celebrate all their accomplishments for the year, which of course did include some crossovers with Godzilla and Kong. So good job for them. The Japanese Godzilla vs. Kong 4K UHD Collector's Edition was revealed, and it's just goes to show once again, Japan just knows what they're doing. Godzilla has always had a much better physical release history in Japan. Not only only does it come with little cards featuring all the characters from the movie Godzilla, Kong, Mechagodzilla, and all that stuff, but it comes with 2 exclusive Bandai figures, Kong with the axe and Godzilla all charged up for the atomic breath. The Blu-ray case itself looks incredible with this fold-out case of the massive war going on, and then on each disc they have a new photo, which is all great. In the background they've got concept art, and it's just so much better than the collector's editions we get here in the United States. I don't own it, but I do own their collector's edition for King Kong vs. Godzilla, and again, it's just like, man, we don't get good DVDs here in the States these days. Like, physical releases have been turned to the wayside for streaming, which sucks because the physical releases are great, and Japan still knows what they're doing in the physical release department. Speaking of the physical release department, all 4 MonsterVerse films were announced for Steelbook in Germany. There's all the Steelbooks right there. I love the cover art for them. It looks great. It makes me really sad that they did away with the whole flare thing. I think that was such a cool little motif that they had going on through 2014 and Kong Skull Island's posters. I don't really know how you could have worked them into the rest. I mean, they did a good job making it look like King of the Monsters had the flare theme going on. I really appreciate that touch on this cover art. But then you get to the Godzilla vs. Kong one and it's just Godzilla vs. Kong, which is kind of sad because I think the flare thing was so unique and interesting. I really loved it. But I do love all of this cover art, including the Godzilla vs. Kong piece. So I want to give a big shout out to whoever designed those for doing a good job. All right, finally, I guess this was the point of the video, according to the title. Godzilla vs. Kong was nominated for a couple awards. Now we will talk about the big awards nomination in the next video, but in this video we're going to talk about the ones they were nominated for in September and October. I did not win either of these, unfortunately, but at least it was nominated for the People's Choice Awards for the Best Action Movie of the Year, which I don't remember what came out last year, but I would probably give it to Godzilla vs. Kong. It was like the movie that brought people together all of a sudden and got people back into theaters. I certainly wouldn't give it to something like Black Widow. And then it was nominated for Outstanding Visual Effects at the HPA Awards. Godzilla vs. Kong was nominated for a lot of awards, and most of which were for the visual effects, which I think they totally earned. Personally, I think Godzilla vs. Kong has the second best visual effects of the MonsterVerse right after Kong Skull Island. I think it's got the most consistent visual effects of the MonsterVerse, and I find myself most impressed by what I see in that movie. So I definitely think that they deserved these award nominations, and I'm glad that for some of them they actually won. Alright, that'll do it for this one, guys. I want to give a big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon for keeping the channel running. It really means a lot, you guys. If you want to support the Patreon, you can go check it out using the link in the description below, where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. And that'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man out.